Well, good evening, everybody. This is Tim Terranova, the proud superintendent of the Victor Central School District. And I'm going to have two different groups of great kids on with me tonight in our October Town Hall. Hopefully, you're enjoying this broadcast through Facebook Live. And again, for people who watch it later, this will certainly be recorded and on our Facebook page for a few days. But I got some great guests first. I'd like to introduce the following young people who participated recently in the Empire State Games. We've got Jake Helmer, who's in 7th grade. We got Divine Jones, who's in 11th. We have Cam Petty, who's in 10th, and RJ Gaddy, who is in 8th. There may be another guest joining us, Luke. I'm not sure if he'll be able to join us or not, but he'll come on if he does. If not, I'll get Luke on at a different time. So welcome, everybody. Glad to have you here. Just want to go through some questions about this incredible achievements that you had through the Empire State Games. So I'm going to start with my first question. And Jake, is it okay I start with you, buddy?
Yes.
So what'd you think of the Empire State Games?
It was exciting and fun because I got to play fun games.
Yeah, what was actually we're going to get to I'll get to both questions. What events did you participate in, Jake?
40 yard dash, 40 yard dash, slalom,
The slalom, yeah, that was a good one.
Precision
throw, distance kick. And I got 2 gold and 2 silver.
I got that already. You got a gold in the precision throw and the distance kick. Nice job, buddy. Awesome. Divine, how are you today? Can you hear me okay? I'll come back to Divine. I think she's getting her computer set up. Let's go to RJ. RJ, can you hear me?
Yep.
RJ, what'd you think of the Empire State Games, my friend?
Good.
Yeah, is this the first time you've ever done it?
Yeah.
Really? So, why did you like it?
Because of the fun activities and getting to meet new people.
Yeah? Did you meet a lot of new people? Now, tell me a little bit about the events you participated in.
I participated in club throw, distance kick, precision throw, and 40-yard dash.
And I see if I'm correct there, RJ, you received the gold in the precision throw and the 40-yard dash, correct?
Yep.
Awesome. Great job. All right. I'm going to go to Cam. This is Cam Petty. He's a 10th grader. Great kid. Cam, what'd you think of the Empire State Games?
I thought that the games were fun. I got to see and meet kids from other schools that also had all different kinds of abilities. It was great to spend the day with my teachers and compete with my fellow classmates.
Excellent, Cam. Also, Cam, what events did you participate in?
I participated in the slalom, the 40 and 80-yard dash using my power wheelchair. I also did the precision throw and the soft shot.
That's a lot of events, my friend. And I bet you did a great job in all of them. Divine, can you hear me okay?
Yes, I can hear you.
All right. Divine, tell me about what you thought about the Empire State Games a little bit.
Interesting.
Yeah, what was interesting about them?
Let's see. Maybe like the different events basically that other people were doing. Like some people were doing the 1,500 meter run.
Mm-hmm.
some were doing like different events, like there were like other kids with disabilities there.
And what events did you do, Divine?
100-meter, 60-meter, club throw, archery, disc throw.
Wow. Did you have a favorite event or not?
No.
Come on, how about the, you did archery?
Yes.
So you shoot the arrow into the target, correct?
Yep.
Awesome. So can I start with you? Can I have one more question for you, Divine? Do you mind?
Fine.
All right. Have you ever been part of the games before? And if not, how'd you become involved?
Yes, I have been to the games before.
How long, how many times you've been in them?
Twice.
Twice? This is your second time?
Yes.
And why'd you get involved? What made it something you wanted to be involved in?
Well, my gym teacher, basically, Mr. Clark, introduced me to the games.
Awesome. And where were they? I'm sorry, I gotta ask one more. Where were they held this time? Do you remember?
Rockport,
Rockport. Okay.
Rockport College.
Yeah, they got a lot of gym space over there. All right, thank you, Divine. I'm gonna go back to Jake. Hey, Jake, have you ever been? Is this the first year you were part of the games, or were you a part of them before? And how did you become involved?
No, Mr. Clark asked me if I wanted to play.
And I'm thinking you said yes.
Yes, this is my first year.
Wow. And it sounds like you had fun, right?
Mm-hmm.
That's awesome. Yeah, as a seventh grader, you have lots of opportunities to compete in future years as well. That's great. And RJ, is this your first year? Or have you done
Yep.
this before?
First year,
How'd you get involved in the Empire State Games?
Mr. Clark.
Boy, Mr. Clark's been a big influence, hasn't he?
Yes.
Been a great influence.
Yeah, this is your first year though, right, RJ?
Yep.
Excellent. And then Cam, have you ever been a part of the games before? And if not, how did you become involved?
Yes, I competed in the games during 7th grade. Mr. Clark took me back then and I loved it. But they didn't have the games for the next 2 years because of COVID. I was very excited that the games were back. Mr. Smith took me this year, but Mr. Clark and Mr. Ferrari went with other students too.
Wow, that's great. So that had to be tough not to have the 2 years during COVID, but Cam, I'm really glad that you got the opportunity to come back to them and you can still compete in them because although you're getting older, my friend, but you're still in 10th grade, so you got a ways to go. So that's great. Divine. All right, this is gonna be interesting because I wonder about this. What's your favorite part of school and what's your least favorite part of school, Divine?
Why are you targeting me?
All right, well, give me your favorite first.
Choir and gym.
So you do choir and phys ed. Excellent.
Yes.
And what aren't you a big fan of?
Earth, science, and American history.
Really?
Yep.
Well, you are a junior, right? So those are tough Regents classes.
It's a whole lot of listening.
Yeah. Plus you gotta write, I'm assuming too, right?
I do both.
Yeah. But those are very important subjects. So even though you love phys ed and choir, I'm glad you keep working hard in US history and earth science. Those are important. Jake, what's your favorite part of school?
Learning new things, and I like so far I like practicing. Really like the Elf musical.
Are you in the musical?
Yes, I am.
That is awesome. That's great. You have to go to practice every day for that during the week?
Yeah, I'm
Wow.
security guard number 1.
And you had to do so you did the Empire State Games, and was that before or during the musical practice? Like, were you already practicing in the musical? Wow. You're a busy man, Jake. Anything about school is your least favorite?
Doing all my homework.
Yeah, nobody likes that, to be quite honest with you, Jake. I get it. But it's important, so keep working on it, okay? RJ, favorite part of school, buddy?
Favorite part of school is social studies.
You like social studies, huh?
Yep.
Anything else do you like?
Technology.
Wow. Now I hate to put you on the spot, but what do you like about technology class?
Getting to try new stuff.
Really? That's awesome. And then anything you're not a big fan of? What do you like? What don't you like about school?
Math and English.
Whoa. But here's the good news. They're not always easy, math and English, especially in 8th grade. But if you keep working at it, you're going to get really good at it. Okay.
Yep.
So keep working. And Cam, what is your favorite part of school and what's your least favorite part?
My favorite part of school is math because it comes naturally to me. I also like to participate in the unified sports like bowling and basketball. My least favorite part of school is that I don't get enough time to catch up with friends since we have a lot of work to do and have different schedules.
Yeah, that can be tough, Cam. It's certainly understandable, but especially because you're a very busy young man. Hey, I'm going to stay with you, okay, Cam, for the next question. And this is really important. Well, they're all important, but this one, I think this one will be really important for people to hear. You're such a great role model, and I'm going to ask this to all of you, but starting with Cam, you're such a great role model for all of our students. What is it that makes you so successful when you face challenges?
My parents tell me I was always a fighter from birth. I just want to do what everyone else is doing. It just takes me a little longer. My friend Alec Brown is an inspiration to me too. I met him when I was in kindergarten, when he would come over from the junior high to work with me. He was in a wheelchair too. I think about him a lot.
Awesome. That's a very profound statement, Cam. Appreciate that. And you certainly are a fighter. Glad to have you, and I'm glad I met you too. Jake, what's made you so successful, you think, and such a great role model for our students?
I always try my best.
You know what? That sounds easy to do, but it's not easy to do on every occasion, on every day, is it?
No.
How have you been able to try your best all the time? It's just something you've learned since you were little?
Yeah.
That's a great thing to learn, isn't it? Divine, whether you want to admit it or not, Divine, you are a great role model and extremely successful. So what is it about you that makes you so successful?
Gotta keep working hard even when times are hard.
You got to keep working hard, even when
Even
times are hard.
Yeah.
You want to talk a little more about that? What do you mean?
I mean, like reading Braille, trying to listen, trying to catch up with work, trying to keep up with my work isn't that easy to do.
Yeah. But you keep
I've been doing
fighting
it
every
for a
day.
very long time.
Yep. But you keep going every day, right?
Yes.
Awesome.
You wouldn't want to give up sometimes. Mrs. Possible won't let me do it.
Say that one more time.
I said Mrs. Possible won't let me give up.
Of course not. All right. That's what
Yeah.
makes her great too.
Yeah, she always tells me basically that you can do hard things.
Yep. Agree with you, Divine. Thank you. And RJ, didn't want to forget about you, of course. You are a great role model for our students. What is it that makes you so successful when you face challenges?
My family.
Yeah. What is it about your family that helps you be successful?
They tell me never to give up and always keep trying.
Yeah. And you keep trying, right?
Yep.
That's awesome, buddy. All right, my last question for all of you, okay? And I'm gonna start with, actually, RJ, is it okay if I start with you, buddy?
Sure.
do you want to recognize somebody, or is there somebody in school that has been, I know there's a bunch of people that have been very important to you, but is there somebody who's been really important to you in school that's been a positive influence on your life?
Mr. Clark,
Mr. Clark, how come, like, what is it about Mr. Clark?
because he got me to try new things in PE because I would never really try any things in PE, and I would always like say no of doing stuff in PE and not liking it.
But you kept doing it and he got you to do it, right?
Yep.
Awesome. Thank you, RJ. Jake, who's been a big influence on your life from school?
Mrs. Holman and all my teachers are incredibly helpful.
Really? Not so. Who's the first person you mentioned? Sorry about that.
Mrs. Holman and all my teachers are incredibly helpful.
You've had some great teachers throughout your time at Victor, haven't you?
Mm-hmm.
Yep. Now, let me ask you a real quick question, Jake. What's one thing that your teachers do that's really helpful to you?
Help me do my work.
They help you do your work. I bet you they don't give you the answers all the time, though. Sometimes they probably tell you to try it out a little more and get you to do it, don't they?
Mm-hmm.
Yep, that's a good thing. Cam, again, what is there somebody or some people you want to recognize who have been very important to you in school and have been a positive difference in your life?
I would like to give a shout out to Mrs. Fosco and Mr. Walken, my aides, because they helped me be successful at school. I also would like to say thank you to my PE teachers for taking us to the Empire State Games this year.
Thanks, Cam. Awesome, buddy. I know they'll appreciate that. Thank you as well. And Divine, anybody you want to give a shout out to that's been a big influence to you?
Yes, Mrs. Postel and the rest of my teachers.
What is it about your teachers that have been really important to you? Like, what's one thing?
Well, they took time basically to understand me, even
They
though they
took time.
didn't know me.
Yep. And once they understood you, saw how talented you were, then they were able to make a big influence on you, right?
Yeah, and my stepmom is one of them too.
Your stepmom? You gotta give a
Yes.
shout out to her then, okay?
Yeah.
All right. Well, listen, I'm really glad all of you were able to get on the program tonight. It's going to be on Facebook for a while, so make sure you check in. And for the audience out there, you know, Jake, Divine, Cam, RJ, and Luke, who wasn't able to join us, but I'll definitely have him on at a different time. You are all incredibly inspirational for all of us. You've, you know, we all have to face challenges. Sometimes people can see the challenge and sometimes people cannot see the challenge and it's hidden, but everybody's got challenges and you're role models for perseverance and facing those challenges and becoming extremely successful and never giving up. So keep being role models. Glad to have you in Victor Central School District. Glad you're leaders in your respective classes. And it was great having you on tonight. Okay. For the rest of the audience, these guys are going to go back and take off of Zoom, and then I'm going to bring on now some of our other students who have participated in both the high school fall play as well as the junior high musical. So goodbye, everybody. Take care.
Bye.
Have a great
Bye.
night. Okay.
Thanks for having us on.
Anytime, everybody. All right.
Bye.
See you, Divine. See you, Jake.
Bye.
Good seeing you, Cam. Take care, RJ. And now we got some other young people coming on and joining us. We'll just take a second to get everybody in here. Let's see. Can everybody hear me okay? We're doing this completely live, so they did not even come on before. I basically asked them yesterday, so I'm really proud to have you on. Let's go around the room a little bit, okay? Let's see what we've got here. Macy. Just tell everybody who you are.
Hi, I'm Macy. I'm a senior.
Where's Molly's on? Hey, Molly, how are you doing?
I'm good. How are you?
Another senior, correct, Molly?
Yes, I'm a senior.
Awesome. Where's Josh? There's
I'm
my
right
man.
here.
How you doing, buddy?
Good, how are you?
We got a senior there, right?
Yes, I am a senior.
And Emma's here.
Hello, I'm also a senior as well.
I got 4 seniors from the senior high fall play. And then let's see here. Karina's here. She's from the junior high musical, right, Karina?
Yeah, I'm a 7th grader.
7th grade. Karina, you're a 7th grader? I thought you were an 8th grader.
No.
Am I pronouncing your first name right?
Yes.
All right, my friend. Who else is here? Tegan, how you doing, buddy?
Good, how are you?
Excellent. What grade?
8th.
8th. And then is Jody here? Hi, Jody.
Yes. Hi,
What grade, my friend?
8th grade.
All right, so you can see everybody that I have 4 seniors from the high school play, and then we've got 2 8th graders and a 7th grader who are in the middle of rehearsals, but they still found the time to come on the show with me because they're in the middle of rehearsals for the fantastic musical, junior high musical that's happening next month. So just going around the horn a little bit. Macy, how long have you been acting and why do you enjoy being in plays and musicals?
Well, I've been doing shows outside of school since I think 3rd grade.
3rd grade?
Yes, so I've been doing it for quite a while now. And it's kind of just been part of my life. Some people have sports. I have theater.
Yeah.
They're like my family. They're my home away from home. And I love how welcoming everyone is. And I just love bringing stories to life on stage.
That's awesome. And Macy, okay, so I went to the play on Friday. How many skits were you in?
I was in 1. Each girl that was in the show, minus I think like 1, was in 1 scene each.
Which one were you in?
I was in the scene called This Hurts. It was the one with the iron board.
The one with the what?
The ironing board.
Oh, yeah. You were ironing, right?
Yes.
See, you had you didn't look like this, by the way.
No, I did not.
All right, just checking. You were awesome.
Thank you very much.
And no one got really hurt, right?
No.
That's great. All right, so Josh, how long you been acting and why do you enjoy being in the plays and the musicals?
So I'm actually on stage crew. I've been doing that since 9th grade and I started with Annie, which was the junior high musical that year.
Yep.
And I've been doing it for all the plays and musicals that I could do, minus John and Jen, which didn't have like a stage crew. And I enjoy doing it because just the wonderful human beings that I'm around with the 6 others that are on running crew, and we're constantly moving stuff around and making the show happen.
Yeah, you are the unsung heroes of the show. So you basically, and I think there was, if I could be wrong, but there's somewhere between 9 and 10 different, what do we call them? Skits? Whatever we call it. There was 10 different
I
ones.
think they were called vignettes. I'm
Sorry.
not positive on that.
I didn't want to pronounce, I don't even know if I can pronounce that right. So 10 of, I think there was at least 9 of them, maybe 10. And each one you had to be out there and the sets changed drastically after each one. So that was pretty impressive, Josh. Appreciate you doing that. Who has it? Molly, where are you? Sorry. Molly, when'd you get into the arts, especially musicals or plays?
So I did a lot of summer shows growing up, and then I kind of moved away from it as I got older. But this past year and this year as well, I did the shows with the senior high, and I loved it. It's great. As Macy said, we're like one big family. So it's been great. And they took me in and treated me as if I'd been there the whole time. So it's amazing.
So you were in at the beginning, then left for a while, then came back. Did I get that right?
The majority of the shows I did were summer shows outside of school. It was very difficult to participate because I was an athlete for a while. I played on the JV soccer team, and
Mhm.
because of that, I was not able to additionally do the shows because of the time commitment. So this past year, I did the show. Those two shows last year, I was in Sleepy Hollow and Freaky Friday, and then I participated in the past play as well.
That's awesome. Now, which vignettes were you in? Or
I
vignette?
was I was in They Fell, and I played Shelly.
Yeah, I remember Shelley. Okay. You were great.
Thank you.
And Emma, how you doing?
I'm doing great. How about you?
Emma, you been on a town hall before?
I might have. I can't
Uh,
remember, but I think I have.
How long you been acting?
I was introduced to the school play and musical ninth grade. I did my first show in ninth grade, and then I did my second show my junior year, and so this is my third show at Victor.
Wow. And you were, I remember your vignette. Were you in more than one?
No, I was in the 8th one right before our final
Yeah.
prologue, epilogue, whatever it is.
What was the name of it?
Seeing the Thing.
Yeah,
So
that was
it
great.
like with the painting, that one was my favorite. So
So, who wants, out of the four of you, who want, and anyone can answer this, like, how hard was it to do a play like this with a bunch of vignettes versus, say, a full musical?
Well, it was definitely a lot different than a musical because you had a lot less rehearsal time for one, because we also got started like right away. Auditions were the first Friday of the school year. We kind of hit the ground running. And rehearsals were also kind of strange because like Josh had said earlier with the vignettes, there were only certain scenes called on certain days. So minus the one read through we had after the first rehearsal, the cast list was announced and then we had a full read through. That was really the only full cast rehearsal that we had until Tech Week.
Wow.
And then, so yeah, you kind of had to trust the process and wait and see how all the stories came together. And that was also really cool to see how it all kind of intertwined with each other.
Yeah, definitely. One of the things I loved about the play on Friday was that you probably had, again, this was Friday nights, and what were two things that were really cool about it besides your own acting as well as the work of the crew and the stage crew was, one, it was in the small auditorium at the ECS, which I think was pretty cool. I've never seen a play there before. I've always seen them at the big Performing Arts Center. And the other was there had to be 100 high school students there watching you guys. So it was a huge high school crowd. And I thought that was pretty impressive. And it means a lot that they wanted to come and watch their fellow students act in that play. So were you surprised by so many of your peers coming to the play, or did you have a feeling that was going to happen? Anybody could answer.
well, we had a huge game with McQuaid that Friday, so we were really sure that there probably wasn't going to be a lot of high schoolers there, seeing that is one of our biggest games of the year.
Yeah.
So we definitely with Friday nights was very surprised by the turnout of how many people actually showed. So
Yeah, I was like stunned, not stunned, but it was just like really cool to see all these kids there, and they loved watching you act. So that was awesome. Let me just ask a couple questions. I know you guys are busy. Everybody's busy on a Tuesday night. I don't want to forget our junior high. Now these young people, I call them young people, they're in the middle of some intense practices, rehearsals for a very dynamic musical. So I don't know who you want to, Tegan, you want to go first? You want to talk a little bit about the musical and what it is?
As you heard, the musical is Elf. It's really fun. It's supposed to be like really corny.
Is it
And-
it's based off the movie? Obviously.
Yeah. It's almost the movie, just they added songs in certain places.
Now, what part are you in, Tegan?
I'm Buddy.
Your Buddy the Elf?
Yeah.
So my gut says you have a few lines and you have to sing a few songs.
Yeah.
All right.
Just a few.
Can I just ask you a question? Because this is always intrigued, man. You can tell me just to wait for the show, but do you have to eat spaghetti with maple syrup on it like they did in the movie or not? Or don't you want to tell me?
I don't think I have to.
Okay.
We haven't
All
really
right.
dealt with props yet because
Did you? Yeah, that would be interesting. I mean, I would try it, but how long have you been in musicals and plays, Tegan?
this is my first school musical, but for 3 years.
Wow. So you've been doing it for three years outside of school.
Yeah.
Okay. That's great. So Karina, how are you today?
Good. How are you?
What do you think? I'm good. How long have you been now? How long have you guys had rehearsals so far for Elf?
We've had it for like about a month.
Really? Give me
Yeah.
like a typical day. Is it like start at 2:30 or 3 o'clock, or do you have to come in later, or how long are you there for?
So usually we wait. Yeah, we like start rehearsal at 3 o'clock. We'll have different things planned for each day. Like sometimes we'll be going to the dance studio, sometimes we'll be going to the auditorium to practice on stage, and sometimes we'll be going to Mr. D'Agostino's room to do vocals.
That's right. So you got to sing, dance, and remember lines and act.
Yeah.
Right? That's pretty cool. What part are you playing in the musical?
I play Emily Hobbs, which is the mom.
Your Elf's the mom. Oh, the mom. I get it. Yep, the mom. Who's the dad then?
Walter Hobbs.
Yeah, who's Walter? Who plays Walter?
His name is Giovanni Parent, but we call him Gio.
I like that name, Gio. That's a cool name. All right, so Gio's your husband.
Yeah.
All right. How you feel about that?
I mean, it's acting, so it's not like it's real or anything.
That's good to know. Jody, how's the musical going?
It's going great. We're making a lot of progress.
What's it like compared to the beginning of the rehearsals? You didn't probably know any of the lines, and now after a month in, how well do you know your lines?
It's a lot. Well, at the beginning, it's still just as fun as it was at the beginning. It's kind of more stressful now that we're reaching opening night, but it's been really fun overall. So,
You have to sing, dance, and remember lines too?
yes.
Wow. So, what part are you in, Jody? What part do you play?
I play Michael, who's Buddy's brother.
That's pretty cool. Yeah. Is it, what are your costumes like?
I haven't gotten mine yet, but from what I've heard, the elves have pretty much very corny, generic elf outfits.
Oh, so you haven't had your outfits yet.
No, I have not.
I bet you can't wait.
Yeah.
When's the date? Does anybody know the date? It's like, no, but you better give me the date of the show so everybody can hear it.
It's November 18th. That's the first one. And then
That's
the
a
day after
Friday,
that-
right? You doing a Thursday?
Yeah,
You doing
it's
Friday?
Friday.
You doing one on Friday and two on Saturday?
Yeah.
You doing any other ones, or is there 3 shows total?
It's 3 shows total.
All right, so Friday the 18th, and then one, I'm assuming it's like 1 or 2 o'clock, and then 7 o'clock on Saturday.
Yeah.
And you are Buddy the Elf.
Yeah.
That's pretty cool. All right, so before I let you guys go, I got a couple other questions, and then anybody's kind of a grab bag, so just jump in when you want to. And it probably is a little different because we got 4 seniors and then 3 junior high students. But what do you like about this school year this year, and what's maybe a challenge? Who wants to jump in first?
I'll jump in. Something I like about the school year is that we've been able to do more in terms of like school activities. Like our pep rally this year was really fun. And homecoming was fun. And something that's been a little challenging. Well, for me, because I'm this is probably just like a little niche thing. But getting ready for college was just probably a little challenging thing for me.
Well, you are a senior, and you're
Yeah.
trying to figure out figure out what you're gonna doing, and it is the fall. So yeah,
Yeah.
I think thousands and thousands of seniors across the country are probably saying the same thing, whether it's college or whether they're getting ready to go in the military or even going into a career. So that's definitely
Mhm.
understandable. Who wants to go next?
I'll go. So this school year, I feel like I've liked it a lot more, like the past, since like compared to the past few years, I've liked this year a lot more because we're kind of more back to normal. And I feel like the junior high, like the classes are very organized. So it's nice to kind of like stay on top of things.
That's awesome. Thanks, Karina.
I'll go next. I think that this year has been a really great year so far, and we're only in October. I've really enjoyed feeling included in my senior year because I was afraid that with it being senior year, I was going to be super stressed about all kinds of things. But I've had so many teachers reach out and be like, hey, we have these amazing opportunities, and I have tons of workshops to go to. And so I feel like I'm getting the full experience of my senior year with it only being the first like 2 months.
That's awesome. Any challenges, Emma?
Probably finding a good balance between school, work, the show, and then still having time for me and my friends. I'm still trying to find that balance of getting homework and college essays and all that. So
You're working?
I do. I work
What?
at Salvatore's.
Really?
Yes.
Awesome.
I
You make
work
the
there
pizza or you
until-
work in the counter? Wait a minute, I'm sorry. What do you do?
I work the counter most nights. I'm trying to get them to teach me a little bit more of the other things, but
You
we'll
just
get
tell
there
'em.
eventually. Yes.
You tell them, Emma. Yeah, this senior class is pretty cool. I mean, I love the other senior classes. Class of 21 and 20 are the two that I've been around. And then obviously you guys, no, wait a minute, 20, 21 and 22. I've been around. 20 was tough because they got sent out of school in March because of COVID. The class of 21 had to deal with the every other day school for most of the year. And then last year's senior class, had the masking and everything. And you had to deal with all that moving up, but we're really hopeful that you're going to have the most normal senior year since the class of 2019. So awesome. Anybody else want to say anything about how the school year is going and any challenges?
I can go. So I've really enjoyed this school year. I'm in our New Visions program that we have. So I spend half of the day at Thompson learning down at that learning center at the hospital. So that even with that, I feel very involved in the school. Like as Macy and Emma were saying, there's definitely some challenges with school and balancing work and life. Like I definitely agree. I also have a job, so I completely get where you're coming from there. And with college, the resources have been really great with the College and Career Center and teachers offering help. So it's been pretty good this year.
It's great, Molly. You don't have to say what, do you want to say where you work or not?
Sure. So in the summer, I have an additional job, but year round, I work at the Village Bakery at Eastview Mall.
Wow. That's got to be a great place to work.
Yeah, I do enjoy it. It's pretty
That-
good. There's some good
That's
people.
awesome. Anybody else want to say anything?
I'll go. So one of the challenges is definitely balancing work and the musical, because there's like a lot of tests, especially when you're taking like more advanced classes. But there are a lot of tests that you have to study for, and just to keep your grade up in general.
Yeah, that's definitely understandable, Tegan. Anybody else?
I'll go. Last year was really hard in 7th grade because I was fully remote in 6th grade. So from going to practically nothing to like a million classes at once, a ton of homework, a ton of tests, it was a lot. But this year I'm getting used to it, so it's a lot less stressful. I think the only hard thing is definitely waking up super early and then having to do the musical until like 5 o'clock.
Yeah, that's a lot. Yeah, but you're pretty tired at night and you're trying to get your homework done too.
Yeah.
Yeah. But I appreciate that honesty. I know it's hard for a lot of kids, whether they were remote for the full year or even going every other day to come back full time, Jody. So that definitely makes a lot of sense. Anybody else before I get to my last question?
So I'm enjoying this year more than my last 2 years because we don't have the mask mandates anymore, and I'm able to lip read as a hard of hearing student. So I'm able to get more out of my classes than in previous years.
Yeah, that is definitely a valid point, Josh. Really appreciate that. All right, so last question before I let you go, because again, all of you are incredibly busy. Do you want to give a shout out to anybody who's been a big influence on you in school? It could be a family member, it could be somebody from the school, could be somebody from the high school, could be somebody from one of your other, schools that you went through when you were younger. Anybody, here is the time to give a shout out and a thank you to somebody. Who wants to go first?
My shout out would definitely have to be Mr. Coughlin, who was my pre-AP English teacher, who said, and I quote, "I will see you at auditions for Mary Poppins." And that is what pushed me to do the shows. So without him, I wouldn't have made the great family that I have been introduced to.
Fantastic, Emma.
I also want to give a shout out to my music teacher, Mr. D, because I wasn't actually going to audition for ELF until I got an email from him saying that I should do it. And I went for it and I got Buddy. So I'm really happy
Thanks, Tegan.
and thankful for him.
Mr. DiAugustino, correct?
Yeah.
I'll go. I wanted to give a shout out to Mrs. Judge. She's the orchestra teacher at the senior high. She's great. She's, even with me not being at school for orchestra, she's allowed me to do independent study with her, and I eat lunch with her almost every day. So she's great. Shout out to Mrs. Judge.
Way to go, Mrs. Judge.
I'd like to give a huge shout out to a few people who don't necessarily relate to theater, but my French teachers, some of my biggest inspirations, Madame Steckel and Mr. Boutron. They're excellent. They've really encouraged me to keep going learning French. And Mr. Kernath, he's been a huge inspiration for me as well. And he's also he's just really helped me through the pandemic. I had him for 2 years for English, and he was just such a great teacher. I could not be more thankful for him.
It's great, Macy. Thank you. I know they'll appreciate it. Anybody else want to go?
I would like to give a shout out to my 9th grade biology teacher, Mrs. Stoutenberg, who's kind of been like, not really my rock, but like one of the more helpful people in my schooling career since 9th grade.
That's pretty cool, Josh, because you're a senior now. So that was what, 3 years ago?
Yes, it was.
And was that was the year we went out in March, right?
Yeah. I visited her like last year during some of her classes, and it was really interesting to see what she had planned after for the rest of the year after, and see what I would have done after, except for the fact that we got shut down in March.
Wow, that's awesome. Thanks, Josh. Anybody else before we leave? You want to give a shout out? You don't have to, but you can if you want to.
I'd like to give a shout out to Mrs. Knapp, my orchestra teacher, for always pushing me harder, and Mr. Taylor, my social studies teacher, for being like the funnest, coolest teacher in 8th grade, probably.
So you really think Mr. Taylor's cool?
Yes.
That's pretty neat. Awesome. Did everybody go?
I'll go.
Wait a minute, Karina. I know who you're gonna say.
Who?
Your father.
That wasn't what I was gonna say, but yeah, he has been really amazing.
All right. Sorry. I was just he's one of my favorite people.
Yeah, so I want to give a shout out to my 6th grade band teacher, Mr. Marini. He was like a really good band teacher. He always made band rehearsal so fun, and I feel like us as an ensemble kind of grew together because of him, and we kind of grew into like one big family. And he works in the high school now, so I'll be having him once I get into 9th grade.
Are you excited about that?
Yeah,
That's pretty cool. You had him in 6th and you're gonna have him in high school now, right?
yeah,
Well, I mean, it's everybody, right? I think everybody went. There was some commonalities across the people that you recognize. Just the fact that they reached out, a lot of them reached out to you and kind of pushed you to try something that might have been a little difficult. There wasn't 100% guarantee you were going to get the part or be able to do the thing they thought you could, but you gave it a shot because you felt like they believed in you, and have been, supportive of you, whether you're going through good times or the tough time during the pandemic. And I know that they've been in your corner. So that's great to hear. And I know that they will be very appreciative of you recognizing them. So as we leave tonight, I just want to thank all of you for being on the show. You're very, very busy people. Can't wait to see the junior high musical in November. Love the play. And I know, Josh, you're gonna do the stage crew for the musical?
For the junior high musical,
No, for the high school one.
Oh, for the high school musical, I
In the
will
spring?
100% be doing stage crew.
Yeah, and I know, I'm assuming a lot of you guys, a lot of the seniors are gonna be participating in the big spring musical. Can't wait for that. That one's Titanic, right? I don't know if I'm supposed to say that or
Yes,
not.
it is.
Sorry.
Yeah,
Was
you're
I supposed to be
okay.
private? Okay. And if you get a chance, seniors, try to check out the junior high musical in November. I know they look up to all of you, and you're their role models. So it's great to support them as well. And everybody, just thanks for being on tonight. You're great role models, great students, and thanks for being a part of Victor. I'm going to stick around for about 5 minutes. Our young adults here are going to take off and finally get off of the Zoom so they can do their own thing. I just want to give a couple updates to the people watching. Thanks everybody. Have a good night. And we'll see you soon. Say hello in the hallway. Yep. Say hello in the hallways, please.
Thank you.
So I just want to recognize here, let me see if I have everything. Couple thank yous for people. I'll just stay on for a couple minutes and then let everybody go. One, thanks to the community for the vote on 200 South High Street that occurred a couple weeks ago. We've thanked people over and over again since then. It was a huge vote. 79.9% voted yes for us to purchase the building. And it's going to be a piece of that the renovation of that building is actually going to be a small part of our next capital project that we are currently in the planning stages for right now. You're all going to receive, as part of our fall newsletter in early November, a survey that you can fill out as community members regarding input on the needs of the district. That's going to be really valuable information for us as we start to plan our next capital project. Again, a small portion of that capital project will be the renovation of 200 South High Street, but there'll be other needs. Typically in a renovation project, we've talked about, you have renovations themselves, right? Things that we want to improve upon in terms of our facilities, whether that's 21st century learning spaces or security and safety, other areas. You also have repairs like we all do for our homes. We have to repair the roofs. We have to repair the different aspects of our facilities, and that costs some money. So we got to plan for that. We're also doing a significant enrollment study where we can take a deep dive into potential enrollment increases over the next few years. We want to be sure about those before we plan spaces for them. So the combination of really looking at enrollment, looking at our facilities plan in terms of repairs, and certainly getting your input as well as the staff's input on renovations that are necessary to continue to make Victor a great place. Those are all going to be factored into the next capital project. And we definitely need your input. So be looking for the newsletter. It's the fall newsletter. It's a great packet. It's going to be coming out, I think, the first week in November. You'll be able to access our survey either through the newsletter or go right on our website early November. And we really appreciate you filling that out. We have lots of experiences going on for our kids. You just saw 2 different groups of kids over the last 45 minutes who are involved in those experiences. Let me just mention a couple others. First, I want to thank our robotics program. Now we have FIRST Robotics that goes all the way from 2nd grade through 9th grade. And then we have our robotics, high school robotics program that occurs, obviously, I think some 8th and 9th graders are involved, but it's mostly 10th, 11th, and 12th graders. A big shout out to Carol Prescott from our PTSA, who oversees the 2nd through 9th grade robotics. Right now it's FIRST Robotics teams. They meet every single weeknight in the primary school. This year's theme is Energize. Teams are learning about how energy is created, moved, and stored. So we have our 2nd through 4th graders in the primary cafeteria every night. They participate in the FIRST Lego League Exploring program. Actually, they don't meet every night. They meet one night a week for about 12 weeks. They work in teams of 6 to 8 students with 2 adult coaches to learn about the theme and build models and code a robot. That's 2nd through 4th graders are already coding. Then we have the 4th through 6th graders. They participate also in the FIRST Lego League Challenge. This is the challenge, not the Explore. They meet 2 nights a week, and they work in teams of 6 to 10 students with 2 adult coaches to build and program a robot to complete what they call missions during timed robot games. So it's a little more complex than our 2nd through 4th graders. And then we have our 7th through 9th graders. They are working in the primary auditorium in the FIRST Tech Challenge. It's no longer Legos for our 7th through 9th graders. These teams use Tetrix robotic supplies of teams of up to 15 students who meet twice a week to design, build, and program a robot to compete in an alliance format driver controlled game. This is the one that's most like the high school version of robotics that we also have a great program in. And so for our 2nd through 9th graders, we actually have over 150 students participating throughout a 5-day period with 30 volunteers. Again, it leads to some fantastic kids coming through with great opportunities when they get into 10th, 11th, and 12th grade through our high school robotics program. And I'm actually going to have some of our high school robotics kids on the town hall in the next couple of months. So big shout out to our robotics program. It's huge. And I know they take donations as well. And anytime you're interested, just stop by the primary building 5 nights a week. They're incredibly busy. Also, big shout out to our athletes. They're involved in various sectional competitions right now. Just a couple examples. Sophia D'Amico is one of our outstanding gymnasts. She's today, I think, she was in the middle of sectional competition and doing great. She's a fantastic gymnast. What makes this unique is she's our only gymnast, I believe, at the high school level, and she actually competes with the Rush Henrietta gymnastics team. And we really appreciate her dedication and work. So just a big shout out to Sophia. Also, shout out to Megan Abbott and Natalie Pipes, who qualified for tennis doubles, female tennis doubles state competition. That's Megan and Natalie. Great job. Fantastic tennis players. And then we have just a ton of our fall teams right now, both individually and then teams participating, like I said, in the middle of sectional competition. I'll have more updates with them. We're going to have a bunch of them on the town hall in the next month to 2 months. So I wish them good luck as they continue to compete. And just a shout out for our marching band. A couple of weeks ago, they took first in the VCS home show. New York State Championships are, I believe, Sunday, October 30th, which is this Sunday in the Syracuse Carrier Dome. It's a massive event, huge event. You get a chance to go down there. Our kids usually go on around 8 or 9 p.m., sometimes 9:30 p.m. because they're in the large school, typically the toughest competition. But we have an incredible marching band, and good luck in the New York State Championships this Sunday. Again, we're going to have these town halls once a month. We'll have different students on representing the great achievements and participation of our students in Victor, and we'll also have important updates as we move through the year. Have a great night. If you have any questions or concerns about anything, just email me at terranovat@victorschools.org. Again, have a great evening and a great week. Take care.